This is Popular Apocrypha, Episode 6, Stephen King's It, for September 4th, 2017.
Welcome to the next episode of the Popular Apocrypha podcast. Today we will be talking about Stephen King's It, but as far as when it comes to knowledge, we only watched the movie last weekend, so most of our knowledge will be based on that and any wiki research that we did, even though wiki is not very reliable. Sorry, Tyler just made some suggestive
Illuminati
tongue licking at me. Today, I am your host. Well, kind of. I think today will be just more of a open panel type discussion. My name is Daniel, as usual, and I am joined today by...
Oh, I'm Logan, and we all float.
I'm Tyler, and yeah.
We all indeed float.
I'm Riley, and...
This is battery acid.
Hey, I do have an inhaler. I really do have asthma.
I'm sorry.
But it's also battery acid.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm sorry if I ruined your introduction.
I was going to say, you didn't introduce yourself.
Nah, that's how my lungs get opened up, is the battery acid.
Okay, so we all float down here. This is battery acid.
This is battery acid.
I kind of decided that for you, though.
I can't even think of other... Oh, wait.
Lincoln Stretch.
Yeah,
The Lincoln Stretch.
The Lincoln Stretch.
I am the Lincoln Stretch. Tyler.
And I'm your lovely Pennywise today.
Ooh. You are lovely, though.
For the record, I'd like to make a little note. If you eventually catch our Hot to Full Boyfriend playthrough later on down the line, this is where that name came from.
Well, it came originally from the movie.
Yeah.
And then in How to Full Boyfriend. And then it's showing up in this podcast.
Yes.
Wait, when did Lincoln Stretch thing come into play?
That's the name of our main character.
No, like in the movie. I
forgot.
remember.
Was that a car?
It's in there.
I'm going to look it up. You guys keep talking.
It's in the movie.
Was it in the movie?
Oh, it had
Something
to
about Lincoln and Stretch or Stretching or something. It's in the movie.
Okay, moving on. So, today we'll be talking mainly on the character of Pennywise the Clown, which Tim Curry did an amazing representation of.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, it was real good.
Granted, back then the movie was not that great because of just them having to be held back by being on TV and in the 80s, so...
Right.
It was very a mysterious, creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did good for what it was with the Stephen King thing because they went for more of that more cerebral horror kind of thing than they did with today's jump scare fests.
Also agree.
Spookums.
I also thought, like what you said about limits in the 80s movies, that at least reading through the wiki and the Spark Notes or whatever, there's a lot more gruesome kills
that
and
book
stuff.
holds nothing back.
Right. And then also there were, I guess, child sex scenes.
There's a lot of sexiness.
In it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the book.
Did you get to the part where the bully got a hand job from the one other guy?
What?
Wait, when does that... Who's the other guy?
It was a minor character.
Probably Bert.
It was the guy who died.
It was not a minor character.
Wait, by one of the other bullies?
Yeah, it was one of the other bullies, but it wasn't it wasn't one of the main three though.
It was
another
that stupid Bert kid.
No, it wasn't him.
It was such a stupid character.
Belch?
Yeah, Belch or
No,
whatever.
it wasn't Belch. It was another guy who was actually
Like a real minor character.
well, yeah, and also obviously gay.
In the book, not in the movie.
Yes, he might have had a minor character in the book.
We're going to preface this by saying we have nothing against gay people, but
So
I got rough for a second.
The Lincoln Stretch, by the way, is a type of limo, but I forget where that came into play.
Oh wait, it was with it was either with Beverly or if it was with the architect. One of those two.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think it was the architect talking about the Lincoln Stretch.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
And how when they walked into the building, they were
Right.
talking about that Lincoln Stretch. I think something like that.
Yeah, it was some weird line.
That's me, Tyler Lincoln Stretch.
Tell you what, if you ever get the chance to watch the
Oh gosh.
movie
Miniseries.
by the end you are out of it.
But what? It was 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
It's long. It's not bad.
It's not.
No,
but
it's a lot.
It's
in 3 hours.
arguably it's a terrible movie.
well, yeah, it's a TV movie.
There were just segments that could have just been taken out.
Like all
and
of
it
the
would not
talking
have
scenes
changed
that had nothing to attribute to the entire show,
at all.
and would have made the runtime go down to like 2 hours.
And like inside jokes that are referenced by the adult versions of the kids.
You know, I'm
that are
surprised.
never
I don't know if we
explained.
just missed it. I don't actually remember seeing Stephen King at all in the movie.
I don't think he made an
I don't think
appearance in
there was a
this one.
cameo, not in this one.
There was a bunch of books and stuff in the background that made
yeah,
poked a little bit of fun at his
lot of
other
fun.
stories.
I appreciated that. That was high class humor right
All right,
there.
but we're going back on focus.
Okay.
So Pennywise was, or I guess is a nebulous entity that shows up every 30 years in the story's canon to kill.
Yep.
He apparently, in some way, shape, or form, does not have a definite shape. He only chooses what people fear most, which is why in the movie, I guess, they went with him turning into a clown and a spider, of all
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
But then I did watch another, I watched a video that kind of connected his thing to the Cthulhu mythos and like the Eldritch horror mythos, because it does run on that same principle of he feeds off fear,
Right.
and as does the Cthulhu mythos, which is going down that rabbit hole for like 4 hours was a treat. But I think as it goes in the, again, didn't read the book, so I don't know about how the book treats the whole situation, but the movie treated it well when it comes to that whole idea of trying to a monster or an entity causing madness before finally attacking its prey,
Right.
which is an interesting concept. So that is something I like about the character and would like to keep in. I like that nebulous factor.
Needs to build the fear.
I think so. When I read on Wikipedia and stuff, like Wikipedia said that the alien creature, whatever, picked a clown because that's what would draw kids in.
Yeah.
And
Not true anymore.
right now it's like
After
no.
that whole scary clown boom of like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. That was
Well, I mean,
Especially
especially
2 years ago. Was that
Didn't-
2015?
didn't this?
been going on for the past 2 years, but like last year was like when it reached the
Yeah.
pinnacle of
When it went viral.
spookums.
I mean, didn't this movie cause a lot of fear of clowns?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So to come back around, I think if it were to make a rerun,
it wouldn't.
I
be
don't think it should be a clown.
I agree. What
Same.
actually draws kids in these days?
Fidget spinners.
Oh my god.
Jake Paul, Viners.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, that is a good question. What would be, because it's based off the times,
Yeah.
what would be a good placeholder, if you will, of...
I think I've got something. Okay.
I'm really scared.
Oh
Okay.
no. That look on your face, either is going to be, I'm going to regret letting this
Okay.
happen.
You need to let it happen, but then give me feedback because it needs some work. I can tell. But
So this is going to get really political really
No,
quick.
no,
Okay.
Is it going to get sexual?
no,
Are you going to use foul language?
no.
Wow.
Wow, Tyler.
I think I am.
I'm the one that usually drops F-bombs. What's going on?
What's happening? Who am I? Who are you?
I'm the prude now?
Daniel's world is collapsing.
What is my life?
Please continue.
So we're trying to draw in
Can't let
kids.
this happen.
So I think we need some sort of like game store owner or something that can like give them like Xboxes and PS4s and
Okay,
free
that would have
games.
been
Jumanji boards.
that would be relevant if not GameStop dying slowly. So
Right, so something of that sort though. Something that
damn it, I was going to say.
What
I was
if it
gonna get
becomes a website?
Political about it.
it becomes a website. It is the internet.
No, that's too.
Yeah, that's
no.
Whoa.
Oh, porn monsters.
Yeah, it's a porn site.
So I don't know if you've heard this whole like if you give any conversation long enough, it'll eventually circle back to Hitler. Like that whole like modern thing or whatever.
Well, I guess we're there now.
No. I'm saying like
We're just taking the
Ours?
big step now.
Set the
our,
clock. We got to Hitler.
our podcast is every like you give it long enough, it'll circle back to porn monsters or something. I feel like we've talked about that, and we talked about it in the Alien Dragon
So
episode.
subconscious.
Yeah, but then we went through
And
like
the Mr. Clean one,
4
too.
episodes, and I don't think we brought up porn at all.
We'll reset the counter.
We've only had 5 episodes, guys.
It has been 0 days since Florence mentioned.
Right, we didn't talk about it. We just used the word.
I think Logan has a point in terms of like what draws kids in nowadays. It's like internet sites, and I think like again, so it's getting to this weird point.
Logan Paul.
Well,
PewDiePie.
not like vines.
He's not hated too
Not
much.
quite
though.
anymore.
No.
Well, he's still like
Well, yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like, and it's weird for me speaking because I'm even getting to the point where I'm kind of old now and out of like modernity. And for me, a big thing when I was growing up was Facebook and like social media.
Oh, I hate Facebook.
But to have like like the monster be social media, or like I don't know, it causes fear of like embarrassment. Or, I don't know.
It's just a giant Twitter bird. Just
Yikes!
Swoops down.
I think it should still be a physical person. I think.
So yeah,
So it's got to still be something physical.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that too. I was thinking if it had to be physical, what about like a superhero, like a
Okay.
generic superhero? It doesn't have to be a specific one, or maybe it can be a specific one in
I
the
know
world
how
of
to
it.
piss off Riley really damn.
it's Rocket the no, wait. What draws in kids? What's super popular right now?
I don't know.
Jake Paul.
The Minions.
No, they're not.
It is really popular though.
They're not as popular.
Just a thought. They've a little bit faded, but still.
Because everyone knows it's stupid. I'm still defending my stance.
I
It was
hope.
dumb.
But no, I think you're right about the superheroes.
Superheroes. I'm trying to think of anything else that's really taken off, but I can't think of anything.
Not as big as superheroes. Like Netflix has caved to the superhero everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what's popular with
Everything's-
kids? I mean, the Disney princess.
Disney. Disney.
fictional characters.
I just Google searched what kids think are cool nowadays.
Frozen.
Olaf. Yeah.
John Green books.
How young are you going there?
I don't know.
I guess I don't know that. Often.
Snapchat.
It's the Snapchat
Yeah, it's still
ghost.
that nebulous thing about the
Vape pens. It's vape dealers.
vape nation.
It's a what? So it's a superhero that vapes.
Vape
Is
man.
that what we're saying?
I'm sure there's some kind of. I'm sure there's some creepy pasta out there
Oh,
that
I'm
has
sure.
to deal with that.
A superhero that Snapchats everything and vapes
Who's also a Vine.
Dude, bro.
Even though Vine doesn't exist anymore.
and reads John Green novels.
Who's John Green again?
Vlog Brothers, Hank and John Green,
Fault in Our Stars.
Fault in Our
Yeah.
Stars.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
is he?
I like his blogs. I like his books with a few caveats, but I'm not going to get into that.
So I think I don't want him to be a superhero. I want him to be a vape dealer.
He's just a vape dealer.
Yeah, and then so the vape that he sells causes hallucinations and
You make
fear.
it sound like people who do vaping are like crack addicts.
No.
Just these
Not if you
specific
get-
vapes.
Yeah, not if you get the right vape juice. But
So
if
wait,
you, sell, if you get the
vape
wrong
and,
vape
you
juice.
just vape and it causes madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Tyler?
I don't know.
Rebuttal.
Vape dealer.
I was gonna say I'm not entirely sure if I subscribe to this line of thought.
I don't know how well that would draw kids in. Like,
Yeah.
I don't-
know
yeah,
a
'cause
lot of
I-
high schoolers that vape.
I'm thinking under high school.
Yeah. How old?
Kids.
How
Yeah.
old were the kids? They're like 11.
Yeah,
they're
they're
like
like
8.
late
Yeah.
elementary school, middle school.
Yeah. Oh, and Dorsey was like.
Like
he was the only one that was like 5 years old.
float down here.
But I mean, even if you look at the new movie, they're still sticking with the whole kid thing, which is fine because that's
Right.
should.
Right.
The whole adult angle of that movie bothered me.
It was just weird.
I kind of liked that honestly because
I mean-
it had to do with like memories and like.
Yeah, the idea of them going back and stuff, but I mean, those were the scenes that added nothing, pretty much.
It wasn't as substantive.
Like
True.
character building in it, kind of, but most of them just flip flopped a lot with how they like their character development.
And I couldn't tell who was who most of the time.
Here's a question for you to look up, Riley, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What is the most popular kids television show of the day?
Today,
Because
SpongeBob probably.
Oh
I don't know if it is anymore. I don't think so. Because like if it would have been years ago,
I'm old, I'm out.
like I'm thinking like if we were to like other than clowns, I don't think that would have drawn kids in anyway. But like I think that it maybe would have worked better if it was like some sort of like Mr. Rogers character that was like
Ooh.
Kids love Mr.
And then
Rogers.
it comes out of the TV like The Ring.
Sure.
Okay.
But like, what is the most beloved kids like other character of
Elmo?
today? Elmo?
Or like Big Bird or...
That'd work.
You know what a
That
lot
would
of
draw
kids-
kids in.
What a lot of kids use nowadays, like parents buy iPads for their kids and they play a lot of apps and stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think we were trying to get away from
Flappy Bird.
internet or electronic.
Shut up. Flappy Bird. It's dead.
Arthur, Phineas and Ferb,
Arthur.
Pokemon, no.
Perry the Platypus is it.
Powerpuff Girls, Caillou, Curious George,
Who watches Caillou unironically?
Mr. Rogers.
I think Elmo, that's a good point. Like,
Yeah, Sesame Street.
that would draw
I think he
kids
gives me
in.
nightmares.
This little Muppet character that kids love, that just wants to be their friend in Elmo's world. Gonna draw them into Elmo's world, all right.
That's almost the premise behind
Rip their arms off.
Play.
Sesame Street is still very much active and popular.
Yeah.
Well, let's just make up our own character.
It's international, hugely international.
Yeah.
Like our own Sesame Street character.
Yeah. That has the qualities of it.
And
Okay.
it's a puppet, yeah.
But does he have a second form? Like
Probably.
like the movie one did.
So first form is
probably-
Muppet.
yeah.
Second form is scary,
Let's-
I'd
right?
say you could probably still be a spider.
Build the Muppet and then.
Yeah, but the
through-
spider thing I think was just more of a. I don't know if that was supposed to be his true form.
I don't think so.
It,
Like true form?
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be his like true
I
form.
think it's his like 3-dimensional true form, as opposed to like macro-dimensional, where I didn't get that.
We're talking about a universe that has a freaking turtle that flies through space and carries the Earth on it. So
It flies through dimensions and
Yes.
space
There you
and
go.
time.
Yeah, it's wiggity wiggity whack.
Riggedy,
Riggedy
riggedy.
wrecked. Get swifty.
So, what,
Rick.
what about this Muppet
Oh, Rick.
draws kids in? Like, what does this
that
Muppet? What does this Muppet look like? What draws kids in?
It'd probably have to be like adult human size, maybe? Or could it be like Elmo size?
It's I'm guessing that with an extra dimensional being, that it doesn't have to have
one
strength
stabbing,
be in
two
size.
stabbing, three stabbing.
I think it should be Elmo size to be cute and
I
small.
agree.
Yeah.
So
that's
usually
big.
the smaller things are the things that freak you out the most.
Not kids though.
So color,
Because they're like them. Yeah.
color. We know that warm colors generally draw people in more. Kids, adults, doesn't matter.
Well, that's why they did a clown too in the movie. 'Cause it's easy. Like if you notice how colorful he was in the movie,
Right.
Yeah.
except the new one. New one, he's not.
Let's do sunset orange. Why is it so quiet? Everyone looked at me.
I think it was the,
It was
the
just
specific
so
color.
Fine, Fanta.
I don't know. What do kids like as far as colors?
Fanta
Say
orange.
fluorescent.
Fanta orange is like soda.
Glow in the
I don't want to have to sit on a podcast going through a Crayola box to find. Oh, there it is.
The monster's this color.
I am tired today. I cannot think.
What if it could be like
It's magenta.
rings and change colors based on the kid?
It's a shimmy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, adaptive.
Does it have spidget thinners?
Fidget
Does it have
spinners.
spit? Can it spit fidget
Does it
spinners?
have?
No, let's just get away from those
Yeah,
fidget
let's
spinners.
get away from the millennial
Get away
stuff.
from them.
If only society would.
It's never gonna. Well, eventually that'll die, but
Yeah.
that seems to still be catching steam. somehow.
According to a Slate article in 2012, orange is the most popular children's color.
Sunset orange.
Wow.
There it is.
All right.
Y'all mocked me.
We didn't
It was
mock
just
you.
so
We mocked
specific.
this, like how specific, pinpoint accurate with the color name you got.
Sunset orange.
Followed by green, gold, silver, and red.
Where's my blues?
Interesting.
Where's my blue shirt?
So,
Too mainstream.
so what I think is we should do like
It's the hipster color now.
so. Sunset orange is the color of the main fur,
Obviously.
right? And then you know how Big Bird has like his legs kind of do the bird thing with the rings or whatever.
Well, he is a big bird, yes.
Correct. Like, so those are his arms and legs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
His
like,
arms aren't like that.
his
are
arms
just
aren't-
floppy,
yeah, his arms
like
aren't
big
furry.
yellow.
Yeah. So his body's furry. His arms and legs, the main joining sections,
Spindly.
are that spindly.
I can only imagine a great scene where you could do with that too is have like one scene where when he's transforming is like the weird Muppet skin like peels away and there's like weird creepy like
Yeah.
goblin hands.
Yeah.
And they can like stretch it.
Yeah, they can
so-
stretch out and grab. Yeah, and his hands and feet are big, like sunset orange pom pom, so it looks like he's like
down
unassuming until the claws like shoot out of the pom.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Have you seen that picture on the internet that like floats around every once in a while? That teddy bear with like the real human teeth.
Yeah. That's so creepy.
Maybe when he's trying to like eat people.
That's what I'm getting at.
So it does it like a closed mouth smile all the time, except when it's like ready to bite down, and
Speaks
it's like
telepathically. So the kids. And, no, that's too much like child's play. I can't do that too much. Never mind.
So maybe it like opened its mouth and it's like a regular Muppet mouth, and then suddenly just sharp teeth jut out.
or just human teeth, just like a human mouth.
I want
just
the human
like
teeth because that's more disturbing.
Yeah.
It's like
It's pretty
alien mouth
disturbing.
just reaches out.
Yeah,
doing all the callbacks to our old episodes.
I think that's pretty sweet though.
Okay, an additional question
Yes.
about this character.
Yes.
So thinking about it from a movie standpoint or
Uh-huh.
from a mini series or whatever, who would play this Muppet character?
Will Arnett.
And you were Johnny on the spot on that
Is that
one.
just because of BoJack?
Probably.
Is that all you've been talking about for like the last 20 minutes?
Season 4 is coming out and I'm so excited.
I haven't seen.
I don't think
good.
he would
I
do
would-
good. He just kind of strikes me as.
As this character, no, I agree.
Who can be comforting and creepy as
Logan
an actor?
Paul.
As an actor.
What do you?
The crusade has started.
Would he have like an American? Would it be male or female? First of all,
Good question.
Or would it just be androgynous?
Androgynous, probably.
That's what I'd vote for.
So have you,
It's a bean. It doesn't
have
matter.
you seen gameplay from the first Fallout ever?
No.
no.
So the ending boss of the first Fallout game is this like humanoid.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
this. He was
like
voiced
computer.
by, the guy who did Winnie the Pooh, I think.
But he's creepy in that he's talking
Cummings.
like a man,
Jim Cummings.
and then like if he gets to a part that he's hung up on, it like switches to a computer voice, then back to a female voice, and then back
So
to
you
a
want it
male
to be like
voice.
flip-flopping between a normal and a like demonic voice type thing?
When he's trying to scare people, like when he's unassuming, it's just like a straight like Elmo voice, like a high-pitched kid voice, and then when he's like scary and his teeth are bare, it's like flipping in and out of
It'll be
male,
voiced by
female.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Baby Cumberbund.
Benedict Cumberbatch, like
Oh.
Smaug.
Like Smaug.
What if it's Patrick Warburton is the creepy voice?
No,
No,
that wouldn't be creepy.
Don't
That would
take
be funny.
That'd take me out of the situation
so
super
funny.
quick. I'd be like, I'd rather punt it at that point
So
than run from it.
who can do good creepy?
Get Tim Curry back.
He can do
I mean-
creepy.
You can't.
I mean, he did okay with the clown. It was still the lion scene stuff here and there.
Revive Heath Ledger.
Ooh.
I'm sorry,
Ledger's
did I bring
ghost.
up?
I think for the scary part, Tim Curry's male voice and Scarlett Johansson's female voice.
I could see that.
I want the guy who did the voiceover from the video game The Darkness. That did the voiceover for The Darkness.
I haven't seen it.
Oh
Never
my-
played it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'll pull it up on my phone, but that'd probably be podcast cancer.
But
He was a singer, but they had him do voiceover, and he did like this. Eli didn't like it that much, but I liked it. But it was like he did. It's higher pitch, but he adds in like a lot of snarling and stuff mid sentence and mid word. It sounds interesting, and I liked it.
I'm looking up actors with evil voices. What about Mark Hamill? He's good at villain
Yeah.
voices.
That Joker voice?
that's true.
That Ozai voice.
Yeah.
I forgot he did.
Yeah, I also forgot he did Fire Lord.
He'd be good. He'd be really
He would
good at
be
the
good.
creepy side.
And he could slip into the nice side too.
Like he could do the alternating thing great.
Well, Mark Hamill should play
Okay.
him.
Could he? Do you think he could do also the high pitched Elmo-like voice? Probably.
Sure, pretty sure.
I'm sure.
So Mark Hamill, yeah, make it happen.
Gary
Didn't we make him another character?
John Boyega.
Oh, that's right.
James Earl
We
Jones.
made John Boyega like
Shout out John Boyega.
this is like the third or fourth episode that we've mentioned John Boyega.
I only have a massive man crush on him.
If John Boyega ever happens to listen to this podcast, like he has to be on it. Like someday it has to happen. It just has to.
What about Jason Statham?
I don't think he's creepy.
No.
He's just like, yo, what, mate?
What?
Anthony Hopkins.
Steve-O.
Oh gosh, you can't even talk as it is anymore.
Ah, well, kids.
Anthony Hopkins can do creepy really well.
He
Yeah.
can.
He would do the darker side.
Yeah.
because you get him really low and like almost kind of whispery.
I don't think that we could do better than in switching back and forth between Anthony Hopkins and Mark Hamill.
As long as it doesn't
That
go
would
into
be
as long as it doesn't go into the Eddie Redmayne thing from Jupiter Ascending, it's totally fine. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, his performance in that movie is awful.
He's such a good actor.
He's such a good actor, but man, he whispers his way through that movie.
I don't think that was on him.
No.
But,
No, that's direction. That was definitely direction.
but
So Mark Hamill would be the good side of
Good
that?
side.
I think
Really?
Well,
I think they would switch and you'd never know.
yeah, it cycles.
It would just
Or would they like overlay on top of each other?
sometimes. Sure.
I guess
All
that would
that'd be
add
everything.
That would
Yeah.
add to the kind of eldritch horror theme to it.
Right.
Yeah, because if you don't really know what it's going to do or how it's going to sound, then it can come at you any different way. You know.
I
Cool.
was gonna pick up some power converters. Star Wars reference.
Okay.
Bitch.
I thought you were gonna bring something up about like moisture farming or blue milk, but man, you went.
That's what it was. And then Uncle Owen is like, you can go hang out with your friends later.
Drink your blue milk.
So how does it kill kids?
So
Because
stat form.
If it's Mark Hamill, it can still rip their arms off.
no, I'm not talking about the actual mechanical, physical. How does it kill kids? I'm talking about if it's a character on a show. How does it kill kids watching the show?
What? No, we're talking.
Oh, I was thinking it was still like just
A
it would-
physical being.
It would so there would be so imagine like kids are watching a show, they see this character, then they go outside. Oh, that character is there outside, and it wants to play with them.
Interesting.
Kind of like in the movie where he's
Kinda.
seemingly able to go into pictures and stuff.
That yeah,
Yeah.
like
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well,
like, or even if say like that character is on a show like separately, and then like it assumes that form to
it'd be really cool because like it occurs in basically a rural setting,
Right.
right?
Small town. Yeah.
Small town, rural setting. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, because you have those, like, you have Sesame Street Live, you know? What if it's like a big city and only the kids can see that, you know, this show's in town and they're like the main character's here, you know? And so that way the character like shows up on their TV programming,
its
but only
lair.
the kids see it. And then it draws them to come see that, you know, character live
at the lair.
at the lair.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
This would be in the big city then?
It moves.
Yeah, like it.
And then see, that's perfect because then it covers up its tracks because it's never in one place long enough for anything to like
right.
get connected.
And only the kids can see it. So, you know, and they go missing in a big city. Who's going to really notice?
And it never goes to Maine
Yikes! Yeah.
because
Well, they got to
Stephen
press it
King. No,
What?
it never goes to Maine because Stephen King. Shut up.
We are done with the whole main thing. That
So-
is-
It avoids Maine just to avoid
Just
real.
to avoid.
If you have a coordinate, like coordinate plane, you have the x-axis and the y-axis. You know,
What's that?
x-axis is the turtle, y-axis is it, and then the z-axis is the character that's like existing in an
What's that
alternate
place
plane.
over there? That is the Shadowlands. You don't go there.
I don't know. I think it's cool.
I like that. What is its monster form? Pennywise was a spider.
Well, it's like secondary form.
Right. What is its spooky form?
It's spooky
Spook
form.
'em. Let's spook
See,
'em.
I would want to go with something because like that spider at the end was supposed to go kind of eldritch a little bit. I want to go with something close to that.
Okay.
So basically, the premise behind eldritch is either behind like an unseeable force, or if it is something tangible, it's usually more humanistic or
Right.
some known fear in close resemblance.
So what scares kids these days?
Fidget spinners.
I was
Lack
gonna
of
go way.
fidget
I was
spinners.
gonna go way darker.
The housing market.
You know, that's actually probably not.
Parental divorce.
I was gonna say the whole, you know,
Sorry,
the whole
not
fidget
funny.
spinner thing is probably not unheard of because you could easily just make that into a creature of some sort.
American consumerism. What?
It's not
Capitalism.
No, but seriously, I don't know. What scares kids these days?
I think
Is
the
it the
spider is
same-
still a good,
Is it still?
Spider's still a good analog.
like a shark maybe, or
Jellyfish,
just straight darkness, a ghost.
or even just having like a distorted human-like being,
Yeah.
kind of like a Slender Man type.
Their
thing.
abusive stepfather.
Yeah.
That's not much of a stretch from.
No, but there's a lot of questionable things in the
Yeah.
book and movie.
But the movie also did play off that everyone had a fear of something.
Yeah,
And
something specific.
And it manifested in those things. But
I got close to a line. Logan got close to a line.
by the end of this, we're going to somehow jump over said line. It's just going to happen.
Patrick was his name. Patrick Hochstetter. That's the guy.
Patrick Warburton.
That's the guy who gives Henry a hand job, and offers to give him oral sex, which snaps Henry out of his daze and prompts him to punch Patrick in the mouth.
What?
Thanks for sharing.
You've been looking
Yeah.
that up this entire time?
No, I just happened to go by it.
At some point, maybe I'll read the book.
No, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what scares kids?
I was going to say we're so removed from
Yeah,
this demographic.
this is hard now. Like as a kid, I'd be like, "Oh, this."
Look up what scares kids.
How would I
Being a
scare...
20-something, it's like,
The future.
the futility of life.
Oh my gosh.
Slow down there, Nietzsche.
Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing. Man.
Nietzsche. He said Nietzsche.
What if, like, I don't know. It just
Frankenstein.
What scares kids?
I mean, like
Nowadays,
standard like
probably not.
monsters. Like what are typical monsters in like today's mythos?
I mean, you got the proliferation. of
you
the
always have
internet,
the boogeyman.
Shadowy tendrils.
Tentacle monsters.
Or
Oh
tentacles.
gosh. We're getting close to that line again.
Yep.
I think something that scares all kids and adults is their parents dying.
Or just death in general.
Yeah. So, like, what if its final form?
Like a skeletal type thing.
Yeah, what if its final form is like it appears to them
The Grim Reaper.
as their dead parents?
Yeah.
So resisting making
Hold
a
it
Batman
back,
reference right
baby.
Do
here.
not make a Batman reference. Batman would kill this thing.
But
It's just-
like,
I would love to see that though.
but what about those kids that are in seriously like dangerous situations with their parents,
Yeah,
and they're
that's
like,
valid.
"You're dead now. Finally,
Yeah.
I'm released from this
Have you ever seen
terribleness."
it was the movie, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie with the multiple personalities.
Oh, Split. No, I haven't
With
seen it.
McAvoy.
Isn't it on Netflix?
It's got a really good twist ending. I don't really want to say what
Is
it
it on
is.
Netflix yet?
I think so.
Oh,
I might watch it.
I might watch it then.
I have to interject this now.
Okay.
Because
Where is this going?
My body-
apparently the character of Pennywise as the clown is modeled partially after Ronald McDonald.
I can
Not
see
a
that.
story.
Still scary.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Well, our character's partially modeled after
Elmo.
Elmo.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me draw this line, okay? So Pennywise, Ronald McDonald, McDonald's, American business, capitalism. Capitalism is the most scary thing.
We got political.
Yes,
No.
Had to sneak that political.
No.
I've been avoiding it, and then I saw that, and I
See, I still just would rather go with something. Have him increase in size, and as he increases in size, all that like plush skin and whatnot
Yeah.
peels away.
Ooh, Five Nights at Freddy's is scary to kids.
Yeah, see that kind of like what's what I'm getting at. It's like,
animatronics.
Is it scary anymore though?
no,
It kind
I
of
think it's
started
still
as
scary to kids.
the joy of creation is probably.
I think part of it is that it's this like, is it soulless machine?
No, I think it would be better as something more biological.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
as long
I
as
agree.
like the furry exterior rips away and it's
See,
like
and I want like it would be something with like really long finger, because like I'm trying to base it off a little bit like Primal Fear 2.
yeah,
Since
Yeah.
it has
it's
to,
like the claws shoot out of the puffs
then like elongated like lower like jaw or face kind of
with the
looking.
human teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to make it really creepy.
Creepy.
New word of the
Creepy.
Creepy.
You have like baby heads popping out of its back.
Oh, that's what I was gonna get to. Is you have like multiple like smaller
Like, little
mouth or
limbs and
faces,
faces and
eyeballs like all
Yeah.
over the place. Yeah.
make it as
They gotta
deformed
make
as
it
possible.
because like that one had the deadlights.
Right.
You gotta add something to
Make it real deformed.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point though. It did have the deadlights. Our character
which
needs
was a form of itself at some point.
yeah, it needs something like that. I
Like,
think.
that's its purest form, right? And the
Yeah.
spider was just like a housing.
What
for
is
that,
the purest form of this character?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
Nick Cage.
Nope. Nope. No.
That's- pertains nothing to the podcast, but there's something after the podcast I want to talk about that I learned about yesterday that something I need to read because it looks interesting.
I hope it's about Nick Cage.
No.
Dang it.
It's another horror thing.
Oh, what's the purest form?
What is a pure form?
What is purity?
Well, I mean, that's
No, like I'm actually kind of asking.
Well, that's kind of the thing. That was the kind of the points of the deadlights.
They're light.
They're
It's
light, but
light.
it's actually
Death.
death.
It's death, but it's light.
So I mean,
It's a reversal of its.
I mean, you can if you want to go as
Metaphorical
far,
property.
you could probably just say like making eye contact with the beast would cause you to go into a like in the movie where they just froze. They could do something similar, or it causes you just to go completely mad.
Yeah.
There has to be something about it.
So just throwing this out there because
Okay.
I'm
ready.
brainstorming.
I'm ready.
But I think kids are afraid of nightmares,
Yeah.
like not being able to escape something.
Yeah.
Right. And so what if it's like purest form is that it starts to change, and then you like look into its eyes, and its eyes turn just black. And once you look into its eyes, you can't move, but you can feel everything that happens.
So it's like
Yeah,
what's
right,
the,
Logan?
what's the term
Right?
for that? What's the term
It's
for that?
like sleep paralysis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would be scary.
That's scary.
And
Yeah.
I want this so you don't ruin the aesthetic of the monster.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't talk at all once it transforms, like in the movie.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But it does still have the ability to like telepathically somewhat communicate in a way, but you're not like you'd never hear it. It's more of an implied. Granted, I'm just getting more into aesthetic at this point. Than
I like the idea, but more like rather than telepathically communicating like in words, it's just like emotions. Just like it's
Wait,
like
well, that's what I'm getting.
hitting
It's
you.
like it's the unseen.
right.
Or it has like a secondary property where it communicates to you in the voices of its past victims.
Or what it.
That wouldn't necessarily mean anything to you.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of kids' voices, just randomly like different
Okay,
kids'
that's
voices.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Or then
Yeah.
if you have like multiple mouths all over it, they all start like talking.
Oh, good one.
But it's silent. It's technically silent, but
Yeah.
they still move.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
So its main body stays a plush ball, but when it changes, mouths pop
Like,
out.
it becomes like this tendrily skin and like breaks
bunch
away.
of mouthy things.
Yes.
Or you just make it to where it goes from the plush to like really long hair kind of thing, or like really.
I want to see the
Matted.
mouths though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, the ones I haven't envisioned, is still like human, but it's like all of like the lip type stuff would be pulled back. And it's
Yeah,
just
that's what I was thinking of too. I was thinking the same sort of thing.
But, and the teeth aren't like perfect; they're all kind of gnarled and
Yeah.
turned sideways and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
Logan.
for the record, I should have established this earlier as context, but according to the Wikipedia entry, the final physical form that it takes is that of an enormous spider, but this is the closest that the human mind can understand.
Interesting.
Its actual form is not precisely what the children actually see. Its natural form exists in a realm beyond the physical, which it calls the Deadlights.
Well, yeah, because they say that in the movie.
Yeah.
He says, I think even the clown in the movie says
So-
there's no way you can comprehend the
Yeah.
true form.
So the realm beyond the physical for this one is like the dreamscape.
Or
It's like in.
If you like this idea, there is a perfect movie for you to watch called The Void.
Have I seen that?
It's amazing.
I might have seen that.
All practical effects.
I think what would be cool for this character is that I feel like Stephen King does a lot of like even in the Wikipedia it talks about how it's probably an alien.
Yeah.
Like it comes from outer space. So it still kind of exists in our universe, but it like
Well, most of the threats in the books and stuff are terrestrial.
right. So it like exists in our universe, but it also exists on other planes. I think to separate our like monster from it, it'd be cool to put it on a plane that
Kind of like the thing from Stranger Things, where it can hop in and out.
The Upside Down?
more I want it to exist on an emotional plane. So I want it to represent like
More
pain
psychological.
or fear or like something like that. Like that. So instead of the deadlights, like
Created by
a
human
place of
emotion,
pure
Fear
pain
lights.
or a place of pure fear or
So it's created by human emotion? Like it's a manifestation of human.
Where it feeds on it.
yeah.
Like that's how it exists. Is
Yeah.
to continue to feed off of it.
I don't know what emotion that should be because it already likes fear.
Well, it would probably be like, oh yeah, because you can't really
I think I still fear.
fear and
I'd
madness.
say.
So
Yeah.
that would be like why people go insane after staring into it.
Yeah, I think still fear and stuff.
Because it's
Stuff like that.
fear in its purest form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what did we decide already?
So we decided that it's sunset orange
Muppet.
Okay.
It's a
Muppet with big bird legs for its arms and its legs.
Yeah,
with
spindly.
pom-poms. Yep. And then like it has a big smile but it doesn't show its mouth. And then it's got like the little Cookie Monster eyes, where it kind of like pops out of the top of its head. And it shows up on children's television, but the adults think the kids are watching something else, but the kids see that show. And then the kids are drawn to, wherever the event is in whatever big city it shows up to. And then it takes on the form of this huge or small, whichever the kid's more afraid of, thing that has claws and like is decaying and has...
See, I always pictured it as being like fairly tall, like it's longer than
Yeah.
gangly.
And then the mouths on its body, and then its
All over
main
its
mouth opens up to like the human mouth, and then its eyes become the darkness or just fear itself. And then you can't move and just feel everything that happens to you.
Well, shit.
So I think we effectively created Nightmare Fuel.
And voiced by Mark Hamill and
Anthony Hopkins.
Thank you, Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, man, I want to see this movie.
Dang. And it's not like this is a different version of it exactly. This is like replacing because ours is better.
Yeah, I think it's modern,
Yeah.
and I think it deals with a lot of like questions that I had with it. I would like to like move away from it now and move to more of the general movie.
So that's where I was about to go with.
Yeah.
We're at about roughly 40 minutes. So I wanted to switch the discussion from the character specifically to after our viewing last week.
Okay.
Just a general discussion about the film, because oh boy.
Can I get a hoo-yah?
Oh man. After 3 hours of that.
We may have watched it together and had a good time.
Yeah.
Because I know we all had
Maybe.
our likes and our dislikes of the movie as it was presented.
So what did we like?
It was better than I was expecting overall, to be honest.
Okay.
I liked Tim Curry.
Me too.
Except for that scene where you're sitting on the banister.
I kind of like that
that's
too. It freaked me out in a weird.
I thought it was hokey.
Made me uncomfortable.
As he's just sitting up there spouting jokes and puns and
I like that a lot of the horror was implied
Yeah.
and not necessarily just like, oh, look, there's blood everywhere.
It was very mysterious.
Yes.
I appreciated that.
except for the fortune cookie scene.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
Which
Granted,
is
That was
Creepy, especially when it just shows the dead fetus bird thing screaming.
that one was creepy. Dead.
Then they got-
Dying.
Yeah, and then they got that weird crab one that was just
Okay.
that one looked like you took like one of those wind up toys and threw it on the table.
I liked that the movie really, like, even though it is presented as extraterrestrial horror, I thought it did a phenomenal job of psychological horror, like especially when the dead kid's dad comes back as like just calling, or the kid's dead dad comes back.
Oh,
He's just standing out in the middle
And
of the
just
water.
like, come on, son, and you're like, wow, really low. Like I did a good job of presenting it not as like as an intelligent monster that really doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's malicious throughout the entire
Yeah.
film.
Well,
The maliciousness is important.
we have a lot of monsters like Jason and Freddy and all these guys that like they kill you and they murder you, but they really don't like care necessarily about like making you hurt as a person. They just want to kill you.
Well, yeah, they don't care about anything behind the scenes. They're
Right.
just,
Right.
They're not.
Or death.
they serve their function.
I was about to say they're not cruel, but they're brutal.
Oh no, they're cruel.
But then I thought, yeah, they are. But like, it's a different kind of cruel.
It's not as malicious.
It's not malicious.
It's
Or
not as
It's not It's a physical. It's not a mental and or emotional.
Are you talking about it or modern?
Modern slasher. Type.
Right. It's
Like,
not.
unless you're going with Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street, because that's all his
Yeah.
shtick.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like almost like a bully. You
He
know?
calls the kid fat like a million times.
Or
now.
an asthmatic kid, and
Yeah.
he calls him wheezy, and
It's a bully.
Yeah.
That's important. We need to keep that for our
Especially for
our
kids.
modifications.
for kids.
Yeah.
Right, because he's taking everything that they, like, they're outcasts, so he's taking everything that they know is their kind of
That they
fault,
value,
I guess.
yeah.
But
Turning it on its head.
and then just feeding into that
Yeah.
because he knows that's a weak point.
Yeah, it just feeds what's already there under the surface.
Minus the random skeleton that jumped out of the water in that one scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have a skeleton.
Spooky skeleton.
It's a spooky movie.
Time till skeleton in 3, 2.
We had a skeleton in the budget. We didn't know how to use it.
So this will come out probably around the time that the new It
When does
comes
that
out,
come out?
right?
September 8th, and this is coming out. So behind the scenes action, we're actually recording this the Friday before this comes out, which is the first time we've done that.
Wait, we put one out this past Monday.
Yeah,
So-
but this is the first time that we've recorded a podcast 3 days before it came out.
But we released one this past Monday, and we're doing every other.
We'll talk about this later, but
Okay.
Whoa.
confusing.
But anyway, I think it comes out around the time that the new
Yeah.
It comes out. So
I was gonna say
What,
we're still 2 weeks out from the 8th, so
what do you guys want to see in the new movie? Like, so it's different from the old movie.
September 8th is when it
it
comes out.
seems like they're going again. It just looks like it's gonna be another jump scare fest. And I
Yeah.
hope not.
I hope not.
I wish they would stick with the whole more cerebral kind of.
Sinister plot matters.
Yeah.
It has to be in the plot.
I want a monster that's not jump scares. I want one that's more menacing.
That's why The Babadook was an amazing
Still
movie.
get to see them.
It was really
Great.
good. It's very good,
It's also very allegorical and stuff too,
which I also like.
is great.
I
But
think that was the point.
it was.
He didn't want to make a jump scare movie.
Yeah, but that's the point. It was in the plot. Like it was
Wasn't
a
that filmed in like
sinister.
Australia or something?
It's from Australia. There were 0 jump scares. Every single scare was a tension scare. Like there's this one, like it's not really spoilers, but there's this one scene where the lady's looking down the hallway, and you full on see
They
it
just
come
did it.
out of the shadows, but it's coming at like just a walking pace,
Yeah,
and the
it's just-
camera does not.
Well, it's like
move.
that. It's like that.
It's
movie
not
that
a
came
jump
out-
scare. Like
No.
you see it coming.
It's like it's that weird between of it's walking and running. It's just like a full-on wall coming at you, and you reach back because it's just so unnatural.
Well, it's like
you
that
know?
movie that came out 2 years ago called It Follows.
Oh, yeah,
The STD ghost.
right.
But that one did perfect because the ghost never, not really jump scared too much, but it was always in the background,
Right.
walking,
Yeah.
which is good because people would freak out more because you're sitting there watching the movie and then you would look somewhere and you see, oh, that person is kind of out of the, kind of pointed out in the background, but they're not. It's not like the ghost is constantly just jump scaring
Yeah.
into the frame.
I think I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but I think something that if done well, it would be really cool. Like for our modification of it would be it is in every shot somewhere.
But
Like you're talking about if it were to be made in a movie, like our monster is in
Yeah.
every shot.
you have
I'd
to be
say
careful
every
with that.
scene.
It would have
Not
to be done
necessarily every
real
shot.
well.
You have to be really
Yeah,
subtle.
in every scene. I mean,
Yeah.
not
It
necessarily.
would have to be done
every
very
shot.
subtly because
Yeah.
if you didn't, people would just get kind of bored
Exactly.
with the
It would
concept.
have to be done incredibly well.
Yeah.
Which is, again, why like the Babadook and I think It Follows did so well is because it wasn't always on screen.
Oh no,
It was always
No, that's a good point.
it was
too.
always the idea
Maybe
of
not.
oh crap, it could be anywhere right now.
it
but-
could be anywhere. It attacked in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It didn't care.
No, didn't care.
see, I like the fact. I think
I like that too.
monsters are better when you don't see them very much.
No, you're right. I agree. But I do like what Raleigh just said that daylight, nighttime, doesn't matter. It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, adults can't see it. You know.
Well, like in the movie, the clown shows up almost predominantly in daylight scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not safe anywhere.
I kind
In
of
a library,
The
doesn't
new
matter.
one they're playing, I think, with another angle from based on the trailers alone. It looks like they're playing with more of that water aesthetic.
Well,
Yeah, I saw that.
so in the Wikipedia, what I was reading, a lot of the movie takes place in an abandoned house, not in the sewers like the TV special.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't the book take place more than a abandoned house?
That's what I'm saying. The book took place in more of an abandoned house. So the
Oh,
new
okay. I thought you meant the new movie.
Well, yeah, the new movie I think is like going more like how the book
I guess
was.
they did put a lot of emphasis on the house in that trailer.
They did.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
But they also seem to be playing along with that water thing, because there's that scene where he comes floating out of the water.
Which is interesting because it shares this idea that the creature, this being, is tied down in a sense to a physical location.
Well, it's kind of like that old superstition way back, like BC, where people were afraid of the ocean because they never knew what was inside.
Right.
And the ocean is like the central point of fear still, because you still don't know what's down there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fear of the unknown.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And I guess it's the sewers and the idea that the sewers connect every person's house.
There's gators down in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
or snakes, or rats,
Yeah.
or Muppets.
Or turtles.
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 I like
I'm
turtles.
snapping turtles.
Oh, that is my last question that I had.
Uh-huh.
Is so Pennywise the clown's
Yeah.
nemesis per se.
Ooh, I
was
like where this is
turtle.
going.
What is
Oh.
its nemesis?
I was referencing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I mean, that works too.
I agree, though. Ooh. But it has to be something, so like we have a clown and then a turtle. So we have to have like something that doesn't logically make sense. So a Muppet and
No.
those are connected. Oh man. We could keep it the same like trope of it being an animal. You know, to,
Okay, I
narrow
like
down
that. I like
options.
So it's like character is
The great almighty galactic chihuahua.
Dan, do you need water?
No.
Okay.
What about chinchilla?
Sugar glider.
Sugar glider, yes. The giant space sugar glider as it flaps its.
The entire world is beneath its wing.
Oh my gosh.
Give it a moment, I could probably think of something dumber.
Then a sugar glider? Doubt it. Bet. Bet.
But like a turtle is like sedentary and also like not scary, like in the slightest.
Platypus.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. Is
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
supposed to be that
Nah,
turtle.
kinda scary.
They're kind of scary.
Which one were?
Platypus are kind of scary.
Oh no, those things kill you.
Platypus.
What's
Sloth?
not scary?
The intergalactic space sloth.
I'd actually
He doesn't
like
intervene
that.
because it
kinda
takes him
like
too
that.
long.
It just can't be bothered.
Just hanging on a comet.
Like, oh, the it's in that dimension now. Let's go.
That's how it outruns it because it can't catch up.
I'm okay with this.
It has to sleep.
This super space sloth.
The mythical roly-poly. Pillbug.
I don't know. I like the sloth. I'm
slug.
partial to that.
BT Dubs, you were right. We did release a podcast this last Monday. I don't know why. I thought just last 2 weeks.
It's fine.
I'm high.
But the week before that, we didn't do one though. I think that's
Right. It's every 2 weeks. So for some reason, I
Did we
thought
not do
this
one
was.
last week?
Anyway,
This one, anyway.
so
Okay.
are we cool?
We're all
with the
good.
space
I was
sloth?
just weird.
Wait.
I like the space sloth.
So real sloths, BT dubs, cool little fact. They actually move so slow that moss grows on them.
Yes.
Oh, that's
which
right.
is a sad fact of life. But
Don't they only also pee like once every year or something? Some weird
like once
fact
a
like
week.
that. Once a week or something.
And they only eat like every couple days or something.
Something like that.
at this point, I believe anything I'm told because I've also been told that they mistake their own arms for branches and fall to their death.
That is true.
Anywho.
Oh, that'd be so sad.
So our intergalactic space sloth should move so slow that like the comet becomes like stardust becomes moss hanging from it, so it looks like this majestic beast.
Or it's just ice.
You know how underwhelming
Ice
that would
sloth.
be? Like, oh, you want to see what's protecting the universe? And you get a snapshot of a sloth, like,
Yeah, but
That's-
our
well,
monsters
it's so
afraid of it.
majestic.
So
no,
is-
it's stupid.
The turtle is the same way though.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
My last thing I want to end on is the children name Pennywise it because it appears to them in different forms
Right.
and has no set form other than like the clown, but the clown is like its base form when they're kids, right? Even though it has a name, they call it it. So I think
Yeah, no, I
our
found that weird because even after they find out the name, they don't call it by
Well,
No.
in the book, it appears to them as a lot different.
Yeah.
Just I think it only appears to a clown as one of them, or like
yeah,
two
it
of them.
appears as a leper, he says.
Yeah,
and then
really?
it's, yeah, and then
Huh.
but it's a leper that's in a clown costume. And then another kid, he appears as a mummy. Another kid, he appears as a werewolf. That's in the movie.
That's in the movie.
Another kid, he appears as two dead teenagers that try to rip this kid apart.
Whoa.
Yeah, he appears in a bunch of different forms in the book.
One's like the monster from the Black Lagoon. One is a bunch of leeches.
But we saw the movie, and that was pretty much one general form.
Right.
Yes.
Well, they
I'm
kind of had to.
But that's why they named it It, because it didn't really have one form.
Our Muppet needs to have a name.
Other than it.
It shouldn't be called It. It's not It. It's something different.
But yeah, we're going to gloss over it, though, because it kind of did that in the movie. I mean, technically it did have a name, sort of.
What if it has like a name, but then they reverse it to call it the monster that it is?
That's what you're saying, like saying the name backwards?
Yeah, so like if it was Elmo, it would be like Omle.
Race car.
Omelette.
So backwards. Race car.
Race car. Taco Cat backwards is Taco Cat.
I'm looking up the funniest names right now.
The funniest names?
Yeah, because we want it to be like something kind of like
Torolf.
That's some.
That's from just Google galloping abs. You'll know what I'm talking about.
but something like non-threatening that reversed would sound more threatening.
Sparkles. What is sparkles backwards? That takes too much effort.
Cell crap.
So crap.
Cell crap.
Cell craps.
Yolanda.
Cell carp.
Yolanda.
I don't know. But like,
writer.
it is so like foreign and weird. I don't know. I just think it needs to have like an undescriptive name.
We could sit here for hours trying to go over
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
that's something that you do when you're like writing a book and you draft it about 16
If
times.
something had like, if someone had a name off the top of their head, I guess.
Tiny. Fuzzball. Fluffy.
I'm
Just thinking of like names for cats or something. What would be a name for like a Muppet?
Plush.
Plush. Trademark.
A Batman villain is named Hush. It's kind of creepy. At least the story behind Hush is creepy, but
I read Hush. That was
it's,
good.
yeah, right?
I
Brought everything together.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the name should be up to our audience. That they send us in.
Like I said,
the
this could
best
take us like
names.
an hour before we
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I want to
Convenient,
know.
But I mean, whatevs.
I want to know what other people think, especially.
We're throwing our work onto them.
But especially keeping in mind that it needs to be of the essence of Mark Hamill and Anthony Hopkins. Like, they have to be able to encapsulate this character. So this name has to be them.
Right. Also, you know, its final form and its,
Right.
you know,
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
What about LMNOP?
What?
It's like the you know how kids think that like in the alphabet like LMNO is one word.
Elemental.
Elemento.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Elementopy.
Elementopy.
Elementopy. That's not bad.
Giant space centipede monster.
So
Anyway,
I actually think it's good. So that's our contribution.
Yeah. If
But
you can do better,
anybody
it's
else-
one
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
if anybody else has something better, then let us know.
I like this character, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
It'd be
then
creepy.
I think we will call it an end to the podcast here, since we've effectively actually made nightmare fuel. But
Yeah. Contact us via, we're on Twitter at Pop APOC Podcast. Go to our website, popapoc.com. We're also on iTunes and on YouTube. For YouTube, you can find us doing weird shenanigans and gameplay and all sorts of stuff like that too.
Yeah, you can find me and Tyler doing a visual novella.
Oh, that's right.
that I jumped into and ruined.
You didn't ruin it. You accented it.
Whatever.
And
I
you
wanted
pulled me
more time.
into at one point.
I did. I pulled Logan into it at one point. Yeah.
I was gonna say, didn't we have someone else jump in? I think.
Yeah, it was me.
Well, I think Eli or something jumped in at one point.
I don't know.
You got water too or something during.
If you have any like contributions to the character also, or like, I don't know, I desperately want like good fan fiction of our characters, like stories written about our characters.
Or
all
bad
one-
fan fiction.
Or
All
bad
that
fan
expanded universe.
Yes, you can connect characters, have them fight each other, have them make love.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I'm not reading those.
I'm reading them.
In a consensual relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien dragon monster, as well as our new Muppet character, Elemental P. They'll make great babies together. So anyway, I was also kind of stalling because we needed time for Logan to do the character draw.
What are we doing
Which he
to
just
now?
did
From the pit.
from the pit.
So
Which also you can submit characters to.
Yes.
yes. So we have Neo from
Ooh.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
Cool.
Keanu Reeves.
We should watch that in advance and do another thrash. Another movie thrash.
We're gonna sit through another 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
That's
another
true.
3-hour movie thrash.
But it's better than it.
It is
Yeah,
better.
it's
I actually really
quantifiably
like
better,
that.
but
It's fun. It's action packed. This fighting.
And it's psychological too.
Yeah.
whoa.
Hey, if you guys need something to make it through the week, look up the turtle that sounds like Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Or the video where all the lightsaber sounds are Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow,
And don't
wow,
forget,
wow,
send
wow.
us feedback.
Wow.
Anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally anything.
Literally. Literally. Nuclear.
Well,
Oh gosh.
any last statements, Logan?
Stay in school.
Daniel?
Don't take drugs.
Riley?
Eat your
Like,
teeth.
comment, subscribe.
That's what I was waiting for.
What did you just say?
What did you say?
It's a Game Grumps reference. Stay in school. Eat your teeth.
Eat your vegetables, or don't take drugs. Eat your teeth.
And for me, yep. Well, stay sassy.
Stay
Spicy.
sexy.
Spicy.
Stay spicy.
I already said spicy.
Stay salty.
There you
Stay
go.
thirsty. My friends.
If anything, I should stay salty.
That's trademarked.
Great, gotta cut
Hey,
that out.
I didn't necessarily say it.
TM, say TM quick.
Stay thirsty, period. My friends, period.
Oh, you just had 2 incomplete sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, stay thirsty is not a.
Oh, stay
incomplete
thirsty.
sentence.
My friends.
It's a fragmented sentence. We're fine under
I'll
copyright.
modify. And for me, I just vomited a little bit in my mouth.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Sexy beasts.